What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Friday's, well, it's not the late night agenda, is it? It's Friday's evening show. I hope that you're all well. Decided to come on early today because, well, we've got the Aston Villa game on tonight. There's the World Darts on. It's Friday before Christmas and people are going to be out and about and busy. So I said I'd try it at 5 o'clock today. We're going to stream till 6. There'll be a news video coming out then about 7:30, 8 o'clock where I talk through all the transfer stories. So it could be a quiet one, but we've got an hour, so let's get stuck into it. I hope you're all well. Hope you're all set for Christmas if you celebrate it. If you don't, I hope you're all just set for a relaxing few days. And most importantly, we have a big game tomorrow, don't we? Massive game against Arsenal. A season-defining game, potentially. And I am so hyped for it. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm everything, really, around this one. It's a huge game. Nice to see you guys in the chat. How are we? Nice to see you coming in early. Thank you, Jason Bean, Jade, and everybody else that's in. Football Lord, Bilal, Darwizzy Lover. Bilal said, "We're not in the Super League. Fabrizio Romano said so." I do find it funny that that's where people go for their Liverpool news, is to run to Fabrizio Romano for stuff like that. Everybody said we're not in it. It's nothing to do with Fabrizio, mate. He doesn't get the credit on this one. But we will talk about that, of course. We'll talk about the announcement today from Liverpool Football Club. We'll talk about the Super League in general. And a bit of a weird statement coming from A22 and their chief executive. Bit of a weird one that I kind of wanted to get your take on as well. Hadi, I'm good, thank you, my friend. I hope you are as well. Emmy, Adrian, and everyone else that's in. Harvey Johnson, how are we? Bit of a surprise we're on a 5, right? Because we don't usually do this, although we're starting to introduce a few more earlier streams for those of you who are stay up late with us. I know that there's some people who watch who are in India or in other parts that are watching the streams of us until, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning. So sometimes it's nice to just give you guys a bit of a break as well. Why do you support Liverpool? All you do is moan and complain. You also make assumptions. That's called being a fan, Mike. Now, I can answer you why I support Liverpool, Mike, but can you answer me why you watch my videos and comment if you don't like me? That's a fair assumption for me to make, right? Because you said as much. So, mate, I'm good. Do I moan? No. I think you look at my match reactions, mate, when we win, and you won't see much moaning involved in it. What I do is deliver news and deliver opinions, and those opinions won't always be positive and nice because everything isn't always positive and nice, mate. But 232,000 people seem to think that I've got something to add to the conversation. So if you don't mind, my good friend, I'll stick with the 232,000 people who think I've got something to add to the conversation, and I will politely decline. See, I'm not getting baited anymore, Mike. Those days are gone. I had a bit of a wake-up call this week. I appreciate my audience, and they're the ones I'm focusing on, mate, not lads like yourself. So, I'll save you the time, mate. You go be you. You go enjoy your weekend full of positivity and outlook. But the irony isn't lost on me, Mike, that you're here moaning about me moaning. Do you get where I'm coming from? You're criticising me for moaning, but there you are moaning. See? We're not too dissimilar, my friend. Lewis Carpenter, thank you, buddy, and welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. I'm also not going to pay any attention to the Club World Cup final today because of you-know-who being in it. It's invalid to me. I don't really give a damn about it. Unless Fluminense win, in which case, okay, I'll have a little celebration. Norway's in the house, James. How are we, my man? Nepal's in the house as well. We love that. Welcome in, Addy. Nice to see you. What actually happened with the Super League, I don't know. I can run through it for you real quick again, my friend. No problem. I still have my notes here from last night that I can bring up on the stream for you. And sure, why don't we do that? While we're waiting for people to come in, fly through the Super League stuff again real quick. One sec. Right, so this is the initial proposal for the Super League. And as you can see, it was pitched as a 3-tiered system with 64 men's teams and 32 women's teams. All games would apparently be free to air on a platform that they've built called Unify, which is the streaming platform that A22 have put together for their proposed Super League. There will be no permanent places in it. Spots will be decided in sporting merit. UEFA reported to be ditching the new Champions League model, but we haven't had a confirmation on that yet. There is talk of that one happening though. Court ruled yesterday in Luxembourg that the UEFA rules blocking the formation of such new competitions like the Super League are contrary to EU law. They then went on to talk about the breakdown of the new Super League proposal. There'll be 3-tiered competitions, as we mentioned. Star League, which you can pretty much think of as the Champions League. Gold League, which would be the Europa League. And, of course, Blue League, which would be the Conference League. The group games will be played midweek, and the Women's Super League would initially start off as a 2-tiered system. And finally, who's behind all of it? Well, it's a company called A22 Sports Management. They were a company formed by Barcelona, Real Madrid and Juventus to sponsor and push the legislation for the European Super League. Juventus withdrew from the European Super League in 2023, leaving just Barcelona, Real Madrid and A22 championing the new format. And their CEO, Bernd Rickard, has been the face of the company and often announces their plans. So that's where we were with the Super League yesterday. Today we got the announcement from Liverpool Football Club that we wanted and we waited for. The announcement that Liverpool Football Club will not be joining. I will read that out to you now. The announcement from the club read as follows. The ruling by the European Court of Justice does not change Liverpool FC's previous stance on a proposal for the European Super League. Our involvement has been discontinued. We will continue to work with fellow clubs through the ECA and participate in UEFA competitions. So that is the official word from Liverpool Football Club on this one, and I think we're all agree. That's the plan of action. That's what we should be doing. And also, there's another important part to this to point out as well. Don't forget that when FSG stepped away from the Super League the last time, they did sign a document giving a power of veto to the Liverpool fans to withdraw from any such proposal if indeed FSG ever did try to join the Super League again. Remember, that is important. It's something that I forgot to mention yesterday because I genuinely forgot about until I was watching something last night where it was brought up. So yeah, Liverpool fans and their supporters group do have a veto on that anyway. So it was never a starter for the English clubs, but you know, Barcelona and Real are still pushing it. Now, there's a bit of a reason why I think they're still pushing it, and I'm going to talk you through it. So I was reading through last night the newspaper headlines around it. So I read this story and that made me think, now I see why they're pushing it. So Barcelona and Real Madrid, the two clubs left in this Super League project, would be due a loyalty bonus of a staggering £870 million, which is about €1 billion, should plans for a Super League finally get the go-ahead. So you can see where the interests are. You can see that there's a huge vested interest here from those clubs who are under financial pressure to get this windfall of £1 billion. Now, a loyalty bonus. It sounds like shenanigans to me. £1 billion for pushing the competition you want? Yeah, not great. So yeah, that's another reason why Barcelona and Real Madrid are still digging their heels in. We know Barcelona are in a financial mess right now, and Juan Laporte, I think, is just making himself look more and more foolish, in my opinion, by sticking to this. Florentino Perez, bit of a different character. It's okay, no need to show us it won't happen in the next 500 years. It will. I very much believe there will be a project of the Super League that goes ahead at some point. And here's the reason why I think it will. If you look at the people who are... Now, look, we won't be in it. I don't think any of the English clubs will be in it. I don't think the German clubs will be in it. And I don't think the French clubs will be in it. But you have seen willingness from some clubs around Europe who are in a bit of a perilous financial position to run towards this this golden ticket, this get out of jail free card for their financial woes. So I don't know in what variation or version it might look like, but I do think this will still drag on for a few more years. Although I think it's safe to say the English club's certainly not involved. Who the hell is A22? I explained that one to you. It's a management group set up by initially Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus with some equity partners and stuff like that. But the reason that I'm still talking about Super League now is there was one comment today that kind of stood out to me, and I wanted to get your take on it if you'd be so kind. So this comes in from Madrid Zone on social media, on Twitter, and they say Bernd Rickard, who's the CEO of A22 and the Super League project, he said today, one of the clubs that just made a statement against the Super League called me and said, we're saying no in public, but we're with you. Now, that could be mind games, or there could be something to it. Don't know which club it is. Don't even know what league it's from. Don't know if it's Bayern Munich. Don't know if it's the Premier League clubs. Don't know if it's Atletico Madrid. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of two-facedness going on here. I mean, look at how the whole Super League project was launched. If you look into, there's a great documentary on it, by the way, on Apple TV. If you're lucky enough to have a subscription, have a look at that. The formation, the whole Super League thing, it's crazy. But it's very duplicitous, and it's all been driven by greed, as we said before. So there you go. So I think we can wipe the Super League away now. I think we've had enough of it. I'm fed up talking about it as well. But I just wanted to keep you guys up to date on what has happened over the last 24 hours. I generally think FSG intentionally act incompetent so that we get actual steals, said Cool Turner wrote. Well, I am going to be doing a video on the transfer talk stuff, but I'm going to go through a few little bits and pieces that we know at the minute. Firstly, I can give you guys an injury update ahead of tomorrow. So, unfortunately, Diogo Jota and Alexis McAllister both ruled out of the game tomorrow, so neither of them are going to make it. Ryan Gravenberch, he is fit and he will be available for selection if Jurgen wants to put him in. And Andy Robertson, we got a bit of an update on him as well. Andy Robertson will be back in January. Things are going to plan for him, so no new concerns there. Also want to congratulate, like we did last night, Bobby Clark on signing that new, I think it's a 5-year contract at Liverpool, so well done to Bobby Clark, wishing him all the best. But yeah, a little bit disappointed on the Jota one. We knew McAllister wasn't going to be available tomorrow, but to see the news today that unfortunately Diogo's going to be out, that's yeah, because he loves a goal against Arsenal, he does. Klopp also spoke on the Super League, by the way, and he said, I agree 100% with the statement and the verdict. I also like that we get an understanding that UEFA and the FAs can't just do what they want, putting in more games and people having no say in it. I like that UEFA and FIFA got a bit more of a shake. So obviously Klopp and other managers, and of course players, feel a little bit isolated in these scenarios because nobody really talks with them. You see the Club World Cup announced and all this other stuff, and the players are still saying, we're tired, we're being overplayed, we're not getting a break. And as I said to you guys yesterday, it's not very often that I will agree with Bernardo Silva, but everything he said in this Club World Cup press conference about players being just overplayed and the product being watered down and the quality of what we're seeing, I think it's absolutely spot on. Diogo loves a goal against Arsenal as well, said Ethan. Gutted. Yes, he does, mate. And he's very good, Diogo. He pops up with goals out of nowhere at times, and it would have been great to have him as an option. One more thing that Mark sent to me as well, so thank you, Mark, is the confirmation of the start of the 24-25 season. It officially starts on the 17th of August and will end on the 25th of May. So just in case you want to put that into your diaries, new Premier League campaign next year starting on the 17th of August and finishing on the 25th of May. What else have we got? 1 billion, but a league with 14 El Clasicos. Pretty much for us, the way it's looking now, my man, yes. It'll be Barcelona and Real Madrid playing each other multiple times to share that money. Do you think Szoboszlai will play on the right wing in January? No, I think we might see Elliott, Paddy. Initially, I had, like yourself, mate, I had thought that we would likely see Szoboszlai on the right when Mo goes to the AFCON. But if you look at the way Jurgen's been setting us up, he seems to tend to favour Harvey Elliott there. And I'm okay with that because I think Harvey Elliott deserves some minutes. Could Villa go top of the league tonight? Yes. Or excuse me, that wasn't a question, that was a statement from our... Yes, mate, they could, absolutely. If Villa win tonight, and just a reminder, they are playing tonight, they'll be top of the Premier League. They're currently level on points with us. We're ahead on goal difference. If my memory's right, I think it's a 4-goal swing. And then it'll come down to what happens between us and Arsenal. So Villa win tonight, and we drew with Arsenal tomorrow. Villa top the league at Christmas. That's the way it is. That's why the game tomorrow is so important as well. If either side win it, they'll be top of Christmas. And that's always a nice little... You don't get that for being top of Christmas, but it's always a nice little boost. So, yeah, look, honestly, I can't say enough big things, enough good things about tomorrow's game. I wish Mike was still here. You know, the one that said I'm always just negative, because here I am just absolutely loving life at the minute as a Liverpool fan and so excited for the game tomorrow against Arsenal. Big game. hyped for it. I'm reading everything I can today, lads. I'm reading everything I can get about the game tomorrow. I'm trying to look into Arsenal's fitness, trying to look into what the bookies are thinking. It's a big one. But Craig, players played more in the 80s and with one sub. That's true, Andrew. But what I'm saying here, mate, right, is... Well, actually, I don't know if it's true, but I'm taking your word for it. So... What I'm saying is the standard now, mate, and the fitness levels are off the charts compared to back then. I mean, back then, mate, you had the Monday clubs and all where the lads were sculling pints. But right now, it's different. We've grown to expect football to be at a level, and fitness levels of these players covering 11.5 kilometres a game. You know, if you're doing that 3 times a week or 3 times over the course of 7 days, it does take its toll. So I do get what you're saying, but the standard and quality of football now is just better than it was in the 80s. And if we want to keep the value of the quality of the product, we've got to give the players downtime to rest. So, and look, I think the best example I can give you, Andrew, was probably last season's Champions League final. Look at the Inter Milan game against Manchester City. Both of them were shot. They just looked exhausted. Would you permanently get Gomez in at left back? No, not at left back. I hate inverted fullbacks. I absolutely hate them. Because you need the width in fullback positions. Whatever about inverted wingers, I'm all for putting a strong-footed player with a strong outside foot. So if you're right back, stronger foot, right foot on the outside, left back, stronger foot on the left side. I'm very, very old school about that. And I've no problem with Joe Gomez at right back. I think Joe Gomez can do a fine job at right back, but no, not at left back. Look, he can do a job there against weaker opposition. But if we're going to play against Arsenal, I'd prefer to have a left footer there. What else we got? I've already gone through all the Super League stuff, Jordan, and 2 days worth of content on the Super League, mate. The gist of it is, buddy, there was an announcement yesterday that they've launched this new version of it. Still no English teams, no German teams that I'm aware of, no French teams, and it's just Barcelona and Real Madrid at the minute, and all the English clubs have distanced themselves from it. Liverpool were one of the last ones to do it, but the statement came out from the club today. Ryan Roberts said, proud of Aston Villa this season and happy for their fans. I agree. You know, I'm not a hater. I know you all hear me moaning about Manchester City from forever, but you won't hear any hate out of me for Arsenal or Aston Villa because I respect them. I respect the job that Unai Emery and the Aston Villa board are doing. I respect the job that Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal board are doing. That's a proper title race. I'm more than happy to be up against those clubs because I have respect for them. The other lot, don't care what happens to them. Hopefully they get booted out of the league. But yeah, no, I'm full of respect for Villa and Arsenal, and I'm intrigued. If Villa or Arsenal go on to win the league, I will be on here congratulating them on a job well done. If the other lot win the league, I'll just gloss over it as always. But if we win the league, well, you know. Would you cash in on Salah and potentially bring in Wirtz from Leverkusen? So this is where Craig gets in trouble. Would I cash in on Salah? I'm going to have to give you the full answer so I can't be taken out of context. So if we get to a situation, who is this? MH10. If we get to a situation where there's no resolution between Liverpool and Mohamed Salah over a new contract by the time the season comes to the end, or let's say by the time the transfer window opens, would I cash in on Salah? Yes, I would. Because I think you have to. I don't think you can just dig your heels in and think, well, we'll let him run down his contract and leave for free the following year. If you're looking at our club and the way we operate and do business and the way we try to help fund transfers, I think the only logical thing to do, if no new agreement is in place, would be to sell him. I don't think anybody with a rational mind can think otherwise. You can put your fingers in your ears and say, no, I want Mo forever, but that's not how the world works. So if Liverpool gave him a new deal, brilliant. We don't have to have this conversation. None of us are here worrying about anything. Mo signed a new deal, happy days. But as of right now, for the best of our knowledge, there's been no conversation, no hints of a new deal. I expect in January there'll be some stories about Saudi, but I've no belief that Liverpool will entertain any offers in January. Why would they? It would just be stupid. So in the summer, I think, look, can we do a poll on this? Because I've given my opinion, and I have to be careful what I say, because apparently if I criticise anybody, I'm in trouble. So I'll put a poll to you guys and ask you what you do, and then we can have this conversation where we get a better viewpoint on it. So let me just add this poll 1 second. Right. It's a relatively straightforward question. I've asked, would you sell Salah next summer if there's no new deal? So if there's a new deal, I think we're all happy. But on this scenario, if there's no new deal by next summer, would you sell him? You guys can vote away. We'll leave that open for the rest of the stream, and we'll see what it looks like at the end of it. Who's back from injury, said Darwinian Chimp. Unfortunately, not really anyone, dude. Gravenberch is available tomorrow. We got the confirmation that unfortunately it came a little bit too soon for Diogo, and obviously Alexis McAllister isn't either. So we've got long-term absentees: Thiago, Bajcetic, Robertson and Matip. But yeah, no Jota and no McAllister tomorrow, but we do have Gravenberch. How good was John Barnes at Liverpool? Very, very good. Very good. Like, I don't even want to put a value on what John Barnes would be worth these days, mate, if he was playing football. If Grealish was worth £100 million, I don't even want to guess what John Barnes would have been worth, because dude would have made Grealish look very, very crap. Yeah, he's a £100+ million player without any doubt. Kevin, big fan of you. Thank you, Kevin. No fans, just friends. Remember that, buddy. We're just mates. Do you think Jones and Elliott start against Arsenal, or what do you think the lineup would be? So I did have a guess at my own lineup, and I went ballsy. I went with Trent in the number 6 position and Szoboszlai and Jones, because I don't think you can drop Curtis Jones after his energetic and goal-filled performance against West Ham. So I think Curtis Jones, in the form he's in, looking as sharp as he does, I feel like he deserves it. We also seen the Dominic Szoboszlai we all know and love against West Ham as well. He looked far more like himself. So yeah, I think if he goes with Endo in the 6th, you'll see Trent at right back. And I've no problem with that either. But I'd like to roll the dice, put Gomez at right back to keep an eye on Martinelli, because I don't want that space being vacated by Trent, who naturally will move into the centre of the park. I'd like us to have a right back there. So I'd like to leave Gomez there to keep the eye on Martinelli and leave no space. And then Trent into midfield. That's what I'd like to see. But I think we'll probably see Endo, Jones, Szoboszlai, and then Trent at right back. How many offsides is Darwin going to get tomorrow? I don't know. But I think he's going to start on the left from what I'm reading. So there's been a little bit of talk in the media over the past 24 hours, and if I had to guess, I would say we're going to see a front three of Salah right, Darwin left, Gakpo centre tomorrow, just based off what I've been reading. I just think that when you've Gomez at right back, Szoboszlai plays further forward because he doesn't have to cover Trent, the space Trent leaves as much, which we saw in the game versus West Ham. I like the idea, Yannick, because look, for me, mate, Jurgen, he's been fooling around with putting Trent in the 6. He's been messing about with it. He's done it in the last half hour of the last 3 games, I think. So he wants to try it at some point. So why not do it tomorrow from the off? Might surprise Arsenal a little bit, but as you said yourself, it covers us in the right back position, because Martinelli, they got to be looking to ping balls into that channel all night. As soon as Trent moves into the centre, if Arsenal win the ball back centre of the pitch, head up straight away into that left channel. And I'd rather we had a full back there. LFC fan 66, thank you for your super chat, mate. Said, we have to sell Mo in the summer. We can't let somebody like Mo leave for free when we can use the money smartly and get somebody else in like Chiesa, etc. See, that's my take, but as soon as you say the word sell Mohamed Salah, you best get in a bunker, because people are going to be coming for you. Even if it is a sensible, rational reason like yours there, and I'm the very same. It would just be stupidity to stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la. Don't get it, and we can't let him go for free. We can't let that front three of Salah, Firmino, and Mane leave for a combined €30 million. That would be mental. Did you see we got scheduled for another 12:30 kickoff? Yes, in February, Dewey. If I'm not mistaken, mate, it's in February against Brentford. I'm working off memory here, but I'm almost certain it's a 12:30 against Brentford in February. Prez Salah said Diaz had to be dropped. He's lost it. So I kind of agree with you, but I'm very sympathetic to Diaz. Look, we all know what he's went through. So yeah, I do agree with you, but I have every sympathy for Lucho and what he's been through. I can't even imagine the mental toll that must have taken on him and his family. What happened with his dad and his dad's wife. So yeah, it's okay. Maybe he needs a little time. He's going to spend some time. Obviously, Liverpool brought his family over to the city for Christmas. So hopefully, by the other side of Christmas, maybe he's starting to get back to himself, and we see the best of him. Saliba is out, says Ornstein. Oh, that's a big loss. If that's true, Oren, that is a big, big loss, because he's the better of their centre-backs, in my opinion, and I think probably in your opinion as well. Hadi said, I know this sounds exaggerating, but I'm still mad about the 0-0. No, I agree with you. Mate, I'm fuming about it. I know I acted over the top. I know I did. But it was Manchester United at home, and they were crap, and we did nothing. So, mate, I'm still annoyed about that as well. I can't lie to you, I am. Selling him isn't the problem, but it's very hard to find his replacement. Well, with all due respect to the club, Queen Nadra, they've had long enough. So, if Liverpool don't have a replacement lined up, that's just stupidity. Because this whole Mo thing has been flirting on and off for 4 years, maybe 3 years, certainly. So I think the club at this point will certainly have a list of, I don't know how many players that they'd be looking at. And I do have some of those names, and I do have some transfer stuff, but I'm saving that for the transfer video that I'm going to put out later on this evening. $7 weeks Saliba's going to be out for. That's big loss for them. That is a big loss for Arsenal if Saliba's out for that long. Would you start Núñez or Gakpo, considering Núñez' lack of goals this season? It looks like they're probably both going to start, Matthias or Matthias. What I read yesterday anyway suggests that Lucho will be dropped. Darwin left, Gakpo centre, Salah right, but, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. What's the injury boost? Gravenberch is back. Confirmed in the squad. That's your injury boost. Little bit of a negative one on Jota. Not ready to start just yet, but we should see him. I'm hoping for Burnley. And obviously McAllister's not ready to come back yet either. The Saliba news is fake, allegedly. Again, wouldn't surprise me if it was. Look, you'll always get these stories that come out in the EVA games. We've had it with us before as well, saying X is out, Y is out. I don't really expect, if Saliba's out, he's out. If he's not, he's not. We have to prepare for the best Arsenal. And it would be very unrealistic to think, today all of a sudden he's out for 7 weeks. So I did a video late last night with Lee Gunner. He had no talk about a Saliba injury either, so I'm sure it probably is fake. Would you play Salah striker, Diaz on the left, Nelly on the right? I mean, no to some of that, but yes to the Salah central part. I've said this for years. I've got no problem if Mo ends up moving central. You often see it with players when they get on in age that they kind of become strikers. Look at Ronaldo for an example. So yeah, look, the problem we have with Mo at the minute is, and I read a great piece on this by Simon Hughes, he's getting the ball too far away from goal. Simple as that. And he's having to do too much to get to a shooting position. So we want to put him right in front of goal, because we know Mo, shot, goal. So, yeah, I've no problem with it being in the centre. Is Endo better than Caicedo at the moment? No, not for me. Endo's been playing well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say Endo hasn't progressed. I think he has, but I still do like Caicedo. And I think Caicedo offers more. But is there a £90 million difference in the two of them, or £95 million difference? Well, no, not at the minute. You're going to keep spamming, why is Lucho getting dropped? Because you're going to get timed out if you keep spamming the same comment, my friend. And nobody said he's getting dropped. I read yesterday from journalists that it will be Darwin on the left, Gakpo to the middle, Salah on the right. Sometimes it's not necessarily getting dropped. I think people look at it the harshest way all the time. Think about what he's been through. And think about the toll it took on the kid emotionally. So I think maybe it's just all hitting him now. Or maybe he's only processing everything now. And he was working on adrenaline before then. So I think if he's ruled out for a game or two, or if he's put on the bench for a game or two, I wouldn't look at it as dropping him. I would just view it as just, it's these guys are human. And I can't imagine what he went through. So it's normal for me that anybody drop off a little bit like that. Is Darwin better than Suarez? Absolutely not. Not yet. No, you can't talk about him as being better than Suarez. No. But if everything clicked, he has such potential. Can you explain why you like Gravenberch so much? So, the honest answer is, Callie, and I'm going to be honest with you, dude, when we were announced that we were going to sign Ryan Gravenberch from Bayern Munich, I was sceptical. I was very sceptical. I kept asking a couple of things, like why did two different managers come into Bayern, not fancy him? I was just so uncertain about what type of player we were going to get in. Was he going to be good in patches? Was he going to be this like potential that never lives up to it? And I was sceptical, and I said it loudly and clearly. But very quickly when he came in, and I seen what Ryan can bring to the team, and I seen the ability he has to play around a press, to break a line, I was won over very quickly. And I think it's a bargain, the 40 million we paid for him. And I think Bayern look a bit, I would say foolish, but I think we've got a deal. So yeah, I'm just so pleasantly surprised that I'm probably overly enthusiastic. Is Szoboszlai better than Gerrard? Well, you're about one question away from being blocked now, Dara, because you know and I know that that's a stupid question. And even if he was, there's no way you're getting a Liverpool fan 5-6 months into somebody's career saying anybody's better than Gerrard. Do you know what I mean? It's just not happening, pal. The only person you get to ask that question, and maybe two, is Luka Modric and Kevin De Bruyne. They're probably the only two people in the world I think I'd even pitch as a conversation around Steven Gerrard. Yannick said, Gravenberch kind of disappears during patches of the game. He'll have time to develop more, but I wouldn't start him over Jones. I have Jones in my team for tomorrow, mate. 100% I'd go Gravenberch and Jones in the two advanced midfield positions. And Gravenberch, as Klopp said, when he hits his full potential, when everything, he's in that rhythm and he's at his best, I think we've a really, really positive outlook. How confident are you that we will sign Andre? 5%. Not at all confident. Not from what I've been reading over the past few days. Yeah, so no, very little hope at this point, mate. Can we collab everyone's sub? I told you already, mate, what to do. Send the email, and my manager looks through everything. Anything that he thinks is worth me doing, he'll bring to me. If he doesn't think it's worth me doing, he doesn't bring to me. That's the fairest I can be. These things are out of my hands these days. I used to say yes to everything, And I used to just do all these podcasts and all these other things. And I was just so tired, mate, and so stressed out. So, as I said to you, send the email in and we'll look through it and let us know what you want. Let us know what you think is time-wise and stuff like that. And we'll get back to you. Andre's playing today against City. Let's see what he can bring. Yeah, it's a big game that for Fluminense. Look, I'm not going to be watching it because I couldn't be bothered watching City. But if they win Fluminense, it'd be a huge deal. Like, they take that tournament very seriously in South America. Arian said, Craig, City are screwed if De Bruyne doesn't come back. I think even if he comes back, how long is it going to take him to get up to speed? Like, I know... Like, he's a wonderful footballer. We all know that. But he's at the end of his career now. And these injuries seem to be becoming more persistent with him. So, I wonder, will we ever see the same De Bruyne again? I don't know. Russian Honey Badger, thank you for your super chat. Thank you for not quitting YouTube after all struggle. Hands down, the best LFC channel. Sorry, you weren't in earlier on. I'm not, mate. I'm a moaner. It's important that you point that out, Russian Honey Badger. I'm a fraud, dude. All I do is moan and complain. No, but thank you, my man. They're haters in everyone's sports, religion, work, etc. There's more love for you out there than hey, keep going. Love that. Love it. And that's exactly why I didn't, mate. No, look, I know people say all the time, oh, Craig said he's going to quit again. He says this every week. I don't. But I have said it in the past because I've meant it in the past. And honestly, this week was the first time I wanted to quit because of me. It was nothing that anybody else did. In the other times, it was trolling that got to me. But this time, I just felt so... I felt like I let everyone down. And I felt bad about me. So that's why that was so bad this week. It was nothing to do with other people. But I appreciate the support I got. And it very quickly made me realise exactly what you said. That I'm very lucky that there are way more people who understand that I'm just a fruit and nutcase. Start, bench, sell, Gerrard, Lampard's goals. Sell, goals, bench, Lampard, start, Gerrard. Is Marcelo a Fluminense? Yes, he is. You mean Marcelo, former Real Madrid Marcelo, yeah? He is. LFC Fan 66 says 1 Kevin De Bruyne, 2 Gerrard, 3 Modric, all time. Well, there's more people to go in that conversation, like Xavi, Iniesta, Zidane, Pirlo. There's plenty more top midfielders, but I mean, if you had any of those three in your team at any point, you've done well, right? Rock on, mate. I love that, Mark. Thank you. Why did you start with YouTube? We used to do a podcast, and podcasts were cool, and I will have a podcast back for next year. But we used to do a podcast, and then Connor just said, "Do you think about jumping onto YouTube?" And I said, "No." I was 35. I said, "No, I'm not going onto YouTube." Then we gave it a try. I liked it. I didn't know what to do because I just live streamed and talked with people. I'd never watched YouTubers and football stuff really. I'd seen clips, but I didn't know what a football YouTuber live stream really looked like. So I just started talking with whoever came in, and that's how it started, and it kind of just grew from there. Okay. Don't miss the transfer video. I just got sent something that I think you're going to want to hear in the transfer video. So do keep an eye for that coming out this evening. I've got 2 juicy bits of information there in the last few hours. Craig, I'm in a dilemma. The girlfriend's a Spurs fan. If we don't win tomorrow, I won't be getting any action. I'm trying to figure out how we can resolve this as a team, mate. Is draw on the cards? Do you know what I mean? What happens if it's a draw? Does that still, we go with a draw? Because that still takes points off Arsenal. So if Arsenal win, what can you do? You're fucked. If we lose, mate, you're just gonna have to get the tissues, and you know yourself. Stig, thank you, mate. Support Craig and Anfield Agenda. Press subscribe. Press the like button now. Love the channel, Craig. You'll never walk alone from Oslo. Thank you so much, my friend. That's very kind of you. And yes, please do drop a like on the video. We're only got 100 likes. There's 800 people in the chat now. Come on. That juicy info had better be positive. One isn't either negative or positive. So one bit of the information, certainly positive. The other piece, it's just information. It's neither positive nor negative. I just saw Saliba for 7 weeks. That's fake. Mate, it's a fake account. Craig, should we be confident heading into this game? Well, do you know what? If we hadn't had the midweek game, I would have said no. If we had been coming off the back of the game against United, I would have been very concerned. But after the performance we had, the energy levels we've seen midweek against West Ham, I think we've every right now to feel like a bounce in our step. That's exactly what we needed. So yeah, look, tomorrow, I can't say how big this game is tomorrow. It is massive. Tissue and lotion, mate. Well, you know, what's got to be done, it's got to be done. Oh, booked my holiday for next year on a slightly different one. We're heading back to Turkey in September, which is going to be nice, just for a week. But we haven't been to Turkey for a few years, so looking forward to that one. So anybody else like that? Like I like to just have something to look forward to, even if it's 9 months away. Off topic, really love the hoodie. Thank you. Why wearing City colours? I'm wearing a hoodie. You know, you could say I'm wearing Dublin colours, you know, which would be this as well. So yeah, I'm wearing the blue because look at it. It's delicious. I'm nervous because Arsenal have been well rested. Yeah, I understand that. I do. They will have had plenty of time to work. They will have had plenty of time to look at tactics, but also I do think tomorrow is where the fans come into it from our side. I'm expecting Anfield to be bouncing tomorrow, and I mean properly bouncing right the way, because this is big, and I know the United game wasn't great atmosphere wise, but I think Klopp's going to get the response that he hopes for tomorrow. Although I don't like how he went about it, I've got to be honest. I don't like what Klopp said about the fans, but I think he'll get the reaction he wants. Turkey teeth, Craig, in 10 months. It's not the plan at all, to be honest with you. You're more likely to see me coming back with a load of fake Adidas t-shirts than anything. Helmet not on here. Can't watch you wearing City colours. Alright then. I'll just remove you from the chat and save you the time. No problem. I don't give a fuck about your opinion on my colours of my hoodie, mate. Can't watch you because you're wearing City colours. So if your missus walks in, and I presume by the state of that comment you probably don't have one, but if she did, if she walked in frilly baby blue knickers and a bra, you're telling me, sorry love, I'm saying no because you're wearing City colours. Don't be silly, man. You would be stripping away in that room as quickly as possible and thanking your lucky stars that somebody's willing to give you a bit. So look at me, I'm adorable in the baby blue. Come on now. But I've saved you, Nigel. I hope that stupid comment was worth it, mate, because there's no coming back, you know. There's no, oh Craig, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen, dude. I'm in no bullshit mode after last week. Should see on the back of it though, I've got Aguero on the back of it. Do-do, do-do, do-do. I'm just checking something before I ban somebody else in the chat. Hang on. One sec. Okay. Yep, so that's bullshit. So you're getting banned. The person who said Casper's photography, Saliba out via the Athletic confirmed. No, it's not. It's fake. I just looked on the Athletic. Hope the lie was worth it, pal. Off you pop. So Kloppo's been speaking a bit about Endo as well. He said, one of the hardest working people I've ever met. You obviously never met me, Jurgs. Speaking about Darwin, he said Darwin Núñez is at risk of being suspended for Liverpool's final game of the year against Burnley should he receive a booking against Arsenal. It's alright, I'll be back by then anyway. So you go be you, Darwin. If you need to pick up a booking in the game, mate, you be you. If Klopp wins us the Europa League and the Prem, will he be at the levels of Paisley? Oh, you see, it's one of those questions that there's no real answer, Queen Adra. So Paisley and Klopp have done similar things, although Paisley to a greater extent coming up a division. But like they both won us league titles. You know, Klopp's got a European Cup. If he delivered another league title and another version of a European Cup and maybe a League Cup, I mean, I don't want to compare because the only real way to compare, I guess, is just look at the trophy count, and to that extent, I think Klopp would come second. So, look, he's the best of my lifetime. That's all I can say. Why do I ban so many people? Because I'm not here to put up with people's stupidity. Why wouldn't I? Like, do you want to listen to people's stupid shit? Or people trying to bait you? I'm not here for that. I'm here to have fun with people that I enjoy and talk about the club that we all love. Talk about football in general. So why wouldn't I ban them? I know other YouTubers don't give a shit what goes on in their chat and are more concerned about just super chats and money, but that's not me. I genuinely care about a community of people and I want the right people here. The people that want to talk with fellow Liverpool fans or football fans, the people that actually have something to contribute. Not a smart arse little dickhead who just wants me to say something so he can provoke a reaction. That's why. Because I've earned my respect. My community have earned their respect. And if people aren't shown that respect, adios. I don't think that's too much to ask. Respect in life should be a minimum. I don't pick on anybody in the chat randomly unless there's something thrown at me or the community. I don't just pick out a comment and go, right, Marcus, or something. One soccer said amazing. I don't just pick out a comment and go, he said amazing. You're an asshole. That would just make no sense. I could make a lot more money. I promise you, a lot more money by just letting everything go in the chat. I've probably cost myself thousands of subscribers. But I know I want to protect the people who are in here. I want them to enjoy their time with us. And I have to put up with the petty shit they get elsewhere. Any transfer rumours? Yes, Lee, but I'm going to put them out on a video, mate, because I'm not streaming tonight. So I'm going to record a transfer news video. And I do have two nice little bits, nice little nuggets tonight that I think one of them is good news. One of them is, it's just news. It's neither good nor bad, Lee. So that'll be coming out about 8:30, mate. Do I speak any other languages? No. I wish I could. I'd love to learn Spanish, as an example. I mean, I've a few words of Irish, but I certainly couldn't hold a conversation. Charlie for life, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Look, you guys are in here, right? And you're putting in nice comments, and you're putting in comments and questions, and you're contributing to the chat. And that's what this should be about for me. You know, you have a bit of information that I don't have, you throw it into the chat, we discuss it. You have something you'd like me to debate, we throw into the chat, we discuss it. And it's all how it should be in the real world. There's too much snidey shit on social media. There's too many people that get away with stuff because they won't get a slap in the mouth like they would in real life if they dared say it to anybody. And people are getting too brave and ballsy on social media. And I don't like it. I'm going to have a Chinese tonight. Do you like Chinese food? Oh, I'm getting too old. Like, the more now, as I get older and eat Chinese food, I get heartburn and I get... it is true, when you get older, you kind of just have to try and eat a little bit cleaner, if that makes sense. Because it's like, sometimes you eat too much, you wake up, you feel like you've been drinking. You know, you get old and... do you like Hussam? Is that the guy who used to do... See, I'm not on social media... Is Hussam the guy who used to do the Twitter, what are they called? The Twitter Spaces. Is that the guy? I don't know. I've heard him talk some sensible stuff in a few of the clips I've heard, but I don't know the person. Marcus, my friend, you've posted that comment 8 times now? 7 times? I don't know what the fuck you mean. I don't know what that is or who that is. And there's no context to what you're saying, fella. Is one of the signings a centre-back? So I'm not telling you we're making a signing. But yes, one of the bits of news is about a centre-back. Who's my current favourite Liverpool player? So, after last week, you're going to find this funny, but my 2 favourites are Alisson and Darwin. And I know people are going, but you called him a donkey. Yeah, because that's how much I know he's capable of, and that's how disappointed I felt. But as I said, that's on me. But Alisson, Darwin, probably my 2. Will Kwanzaa ever be able to take over the mantle from Verge? I think he will, you know. He certainly looks like he has all the tools at his disposal. I mean, I said this the other day. Sometimes Jarell Kwanzaa hits these diagonal passes, and if you close your eyes, he could easily be Virgil van Dijk. Like, he has all the tools. Okay, here comes another little baiting bitch. Says, Craig, you're banning people for fake news. That's hypocritical. You were talking about Jota being fit and available. That's fake news. So show me where I said Diogo Jota's available. Show me. Because I didn't say it. What I said was, he's close to being available. And he is. But he's just not available for this game. So if you want to call the news that came out of the club fake news, then take it up with Jurgen or Pep Linders. But it's not fake news when I'm reading out articles and news and press conferences and giving you an update. It's not my fault the game came a little bit too early. For example, I'll tell you exactly what I said. Pep Linders the other day said Diogo Jota is back and available. He's fit and we've been given the go ahead. But with these type of injuries, we like to give them an extra 2 or 3 days when they come back just to make sure there's no reaction. That's what I said. That's the news. Not my fault you're too thick to comprehend it, or you're just an asshole that wants to come in and have a pop, man. It's, again, I know what I say, and if you want to have a go at me, at least quote me correctly. Some people are real assholes. They're just dickheads, Barry. Sorry, there's no other thing to say about it. They've nothing going on in their own life, so they just want to come in and try and bait people or say something negative. But, like, they should just try and do something positive for themselves. Like, if they changed their mindset and started to contribute to a chat, I think they'd have a lot more fun in general. Excited that more players will be back in the new year. Can't wait to see Jota and Maka again. Yeah, so Yannick, Jota, as you said, Maka, but Robbo. I can't wait to have Andy Robertson back. It feels... I mean, I think Costas has done a pretty good job. But yeah, having that shithousery of Andy Robertson back is going to be great. And, you know, I'm sure he's going to feel well rested. And I think we're going to see a really good second half of the season now from Andy Robertson. But yeah, as you said, having Maka back, having Jota back, they're definitely going to be big boosts to us. Especially with Mo coming for the AFCON and stuff. Can you ever see Trent getting sold or leaving? Well, you can never say never, you know, but I think it would... No, I can't see it in the foreseeable. But you can never say never in football. Like, Trent could do a Gerrard. You know, get to the end part of his career and just decide maybe he wants to try the MLS or something. But no, I don't see it during his peak years. I see him staying at Liverpool. So Ahmed, I can't read out the second part of your comment, buddy. And not because I don't want to support whatever it is that you're feeling or discussing. But I don't know what it is you're discussing or feeling when you just said what you said in your comment. So I tried to keep politics out of this. You said you're winning 3-0 tomorrow. Against us or for us, I don't know. But I can't read out the second part because I don't have the context of what you're talking about. I'm not trying to be rude. Don't leave next year. You've been my favourite Liverpool fan account. I don't know. I always do this. I only go 1 year to year. So I don't know what's going to happen next year yet. I honestly haven't thought about it. At the end of every season, I sit down with my family and we have a conversation. Do we have another year in us? That's the truth. That's what really happens here. So as of right now, I don't know what happens at the end of the season, but I know I'm going to be here till the end of the season. Would you sell Diaz and Salah for Bakayoko and Mbappe? Don't know enough about Bakayoko, in all honesty, Greek freak. I've not had the opportunity to watch all that much of him. I would swap Salah for Mbappe. I've said this multiple times, mainly because of the age variation. And because he's a pretty damn good footballer. Bakayoko is somebody that's been linked loads, but I don't watch the Eredivisie, so I don't really see that much of... isn't it Feyenoord he plays for? Do you think Thiago will just get injured again when he comes back? Well, yeah, I do. I think he'll play, I don't know, a few months, and then there'll be a muscle injury. I'm not saying he'll be injured for long, but I wouldn't put 50 quid down on him getting through the rest of the season without an injury. That's my honest answer. You're overrated 11. Oh, see, that's a good shout, Roy, and it's a good suggestion, mate, but it's one I'd have to, write down, think about, and put together in a video. But it's a great idea for a video, Roy. So, yeah, we'll give that a bash in the future, I promise you. Just remind me, mate, maybe when we're getting closer to an international break or something. Because that's a good idea. That'll definitely land me in trouble, though. 100% I'm pissing somebody off there. Let's have a look at the poll that we started right at the very start of the show. We said, would you sell Mohamed Salah next summer if there was no new deal in place? And 75% say yes, and 25% say no. For those who may have answered no in the chat, sincerely would love to know your thought processes. Is it because you'd like to let him run down his deal and then leave on a free the following year? Or is it that you'd still hold out hope in that final year that Liverpool would agree an extension with Mo or something? So if you were one of the people that voted no, let us know why in the chat. Genuinely just out of curiosity. Swap Alisson for Prime Grobler. Prime Grobler is not fit to lace Alisson's boots. Not fit to lace Pepe Reina's boots. For me, goalkeepers at Liverpool in my lifetime go Alisson, Reina, Grobler. And it's not even close. It's like Alisson, drop down, Reina, drop down further, Grobler. Yeah, there's a big gap there for me. Oh, it's PSV he plays for. Why is it? I'm sure it was Feyenoord. My God, that's how little I know about him. But it's PSV. I just don't watch much of the Eredivisie clubs at all, mate. And even last night, I had PSV in an accumulator, and the game was called off in the cup because of rain, so I didn't even get to see that. How would you rank our forwards from best to worst? Not touching that, Osman. Not touching that after the week I've had. Yeah, and I don't like the idea of putting anyone worse on that list either. Prime Neuer or Alisson? Neuer, I think. I'll tell you why. I think both of them are amazing in one-on-one. I think both of them are amazing in distribution. I think both of them are amazing at guarding the edge of the box. The only difference I really can think of that would maybe edge towards the very best version of Neuer is that he commands his area better. He's stronger under the high ball than Alisson. That is the only thing I can think of that maybe would differentiate them both. Because otherwise they're both basically Superman. They're both unbelievable. And that tells you how highly I rate Neuer in his prime, by the way. Because to me, Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the world. Not even close now. Best goalkeeper in the world. But prime Neuer, that man was like Superman. Would you say Endo's been a better transfer than Maka? No. I don't think Maka gets the credit. But I also understand where you're coming from. So we signed Maka and we think we're getting Maka to be left-sided number 10. But we end up getting is Maka and Jurgen Klopp using them in the 6. And I think he's not getting enough credit for how versatile he is to be able to do that. And how he's trying to adapt to that version of a number 6. So, no, I think McAllister's been a better signing. But again, I do understand your point. That man invented sweeper keeper. Yeah, look, prime Neuer, man. He's superhuman, almost. Imagine we don't go invincible due to the Tottenham game. I would honestly flip my lid. If we went through the rest of the season somehow unbeaten, yeah, that would really hurt, man. I can't lie, that would be horrendous. So, actually on that, what was I thinking about? You asked me about... What was it you asked me about? What was the question I was just answering there? I don't know where I was going. Oh, hang on. I was thinking about some statistic that I had on something. City are 1-0 up already, are they? Well, that's definitely not worth watching, so. Do you think Alisson's better than Peter Schmeichel was? Yes. I think he'd, like... When you take into account everything, yes. Because I don't think Schmeichel had some of the assets. I think Alisson's a more well-rounded keeper than Peter Schmeichel for today's football. But Peter Schmeichel back then was probably the best in the world for so many other things. What I always remember Peter Schmeichel for is those ridiculous throws that he was able to do towards the halfway line and just like an arrow to his teammates. But I would say Alisson's a little bit more well-rounded. Craig, sorry I got baited. It was a fake Ornstein thing. Well, you're not banned, Casper. You're there, so all good, my man. We were all at the start, mate. I was no problem. At the start, a lot of people were confused about it. But then, we talked about it for a few minutes and there were still people coming in. Oh, you're Casper Photography. Cool. I'll unban that account, mate, after the stream. Be fair to you, I'll unban that account after the stream. I appreciate you coming in and making your... explaining yourself. So yeah, I'll unban that account for you, mate, after the stream. I'll go and find it and unban it. Do you think Alisson will go down as one of the best goalkeepers in history? Yes, has to. I don't think there can be a debate now he's the best in the world. I don't see who's better than him. What is McAllister's injury? So there was two things, George. There was a cut on his foot, and then there was the knee. And I was getting confused between which one was keeping him out, because initially I'd seen that it was a cut and stitches that were going to keep him out. But then I'd start seeing that it was the knee that was going to keep him out. So they're the two things I know of that he suffered in that game. There was one, you remember, someone raked the studs across his boot. I think that's the one that caused the gash. But then there was the knee injury as well. Who do you think's in your opinion, is the most underrated player at Liverpool in living memory? Rob Jones. Beardsley's a good shout, like you've said. Finnan, but I think we did appreciate Finnan. Sami Hyypiä, perhaps. I don't know if people hold him as highly in regards as they should. Wijnaldum's a good shout as well, by the way. Gini Wijnaldum never got the praise that his consistency deserved, so that's a very good shout as well. LFC transfer room got baited by that one as well. Oh, ouch. They're quite good, to be fair. Keeping an eye on these things. Lucas Leiva is a good shout as well. Do you think Darwin starting the left tomorrow? I do, Duchesne. Yeah, I do. I think we'll see Darwin left, Gakpo centre, Salah right. At least that's, from what I'm reading, that seems to be the consensus. Right, my friends, I gotta let you guys go. I'm gonna record a transfer news video. That's gonna come out at about 7:30 or so. So no live stream tonight. So thank you for everyone that did join me during the afternoon. And I will see you tomorrow, 4:30 for the watch along. Biggest game of the season so far, without a doubt. Bring your good form, bring your good vibes, bring your positivity to the chat. And let's hope we can finish the game tomorrow and be top of the pile at Christmas. Huge, huge one. Look forward to it. Get rested up tonight because tomorrow we go to war. Talk to you then.